What's going on, guys? Zero Sports Cards coming at you with another video today. You guys know this is my favorite video of the week. We go through everything you need to know for retail hunting. We go through what products are going to be available, new releases, their values. Are they going up? Are they going down? What's happening in the world of retail sports cards? This is supposed to be a Tuesday video, but we had the Tuesday drop, so I wanted to kind of get everything going for that and bring this video to you because, heck, why not? Before we start, you're like, hey, JR, I love your hat. Well, I happen to too. This is the JR Members Only hat merch. We got merch, guys. If you are not a member, you can buy the sports card edition of your hat. It will say JR Sports Cards. We have white and black for this color. These are amazing quality hats. It really helps and supports the channel a ton. All money from the sales that I make, all the profit, is going right back into the channel to make content for you guys. It gives me more time to be able to research for you guys, etc. So guys, click the link in the description. It will say buy a hat. You can either choose white or black. Again, it will have JR Sports Cards. And if you are a member and you want a members only hat, reach out to me via Discord and we can get you a members only exclusive hat, guys. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. You guys know I'll be looking to the left or maybe to the right. I don't know, because this kind of flips. I'll be looking to the side. To be looking at all this information because it's too much for me to remember. And I'll also have comp pictures popped up on the screen as well because, yeah, JR edits his videos now. All right, guys, so to start off, we always start off with select football and football products in general. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 football products to talk about today. I know, it's a lot. 7, not even including Sage, so really 8, but we don't really cover Sage. All right, so select football blasters are up this week. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be referencing secondary market value only because if secondary market value is up, then single value is up. If secondary market value is down, then single value is down. So that's the only reason I reference secondary market value. You know, it's your cards. You can do whatever you want. I'm team rip, but I know people flip. I'm out of the, you know, I'm not getting in that battle right now. All right, so select football blasters. $60 value here. They're up $5 from last week. They're about $55 to $60 last week. So this week they're at $60. Fat packs are up as well. They were $20 to $25 last week. Now they're $25 to $30. So it's interesting. We're seeing select actually kind of rise in the market. There's no real reason I can put my finger on just yet in terms of why this would happen. But be on the lookout for potentially products to kind of go up. The only select product that went down from last week were the mega boxes. We've seen them dwindling in the $85 to $100 range. Then last week, you know, we kind of set the $95 to $100 range. Now they're pretty much selling at $90 flat. So they kind of found where they're going to settle. So again, we had the $85 to $100 range. Now we're looking at $90 for select mega boxes. Let's move on to Chronicles, probably one of the most overproduced products out right now. The value is just getting killed. Same as last week, they're about 30 to 35 in value, 30 really. Some are at 35 because the demand for footballs, you know, a little bit more. So people that don't necessarily do their research are buying, you know, blasts for $35 because they're like, oh, it's football. Let me get it. Chronicles mega boxes are down $5. They're about $55 to $60 right now. They were 60 flat last week, but they are trickling down into the 55 range, which has been a little frustrating. And then you have fat packs. These have been like about $10 for like the last 3 weeks. They're about $8 to $10 this week. No real change for fat packs. Even after all those fat pack boxes came out, there's no real value change in that, and I don't expect that to change at all. When are we going to see Chronicles off the shelves? Nobody knows. Hopefully soon. It's just so overproduced. It's killer. You can get even a nice Herbert card is just like you get totally, you know, there's no value when you pull it. So it's like, it's almost not fun to open anymore. And I know people are saying, you know, I'll get comments saying, oh yeah, well, JR, you know, you open because it's not about the value, it's about the cards. But there is value that plays a point in it. I think a lot of people open boxes and try to get higher valued cards, you know. All right, we have next Score football blaster boxes. They're about 25 to 35 last week. They sunk to $25 this week. Some are still paying a little bit more because it's football and people are, again, pulling the trigger on football too early, not doing their research. So some are selling them for like $35, but it's really $25 consistently for people that pretty much know what they're doing. Contenders Draft Picks Football Blaster Box. That, again, that's college jerseys with that one autograph guaranteed per box. Well, on average, but it's pretty much guaranteed. Those are selling for $30, so look out for those. In terms of, going up $5 from last week. They're, about 25 to 40 2 weeks ago. Then they dropped strictly to 25 last week. They went up a little to 30. This could have been expected. I could have honestly given the $25 to $30 range last week, and I think I prefaced that in the video last week. So about $30 for the Contenders Draft Picks Football Blasters. Let's take a look at Prism Draft Picks Blaster Boxes. These have been a hot commodity. They finally dropped on Target website yesterday, but the problem is Target put the wrong photo. They put a picture of a hobby box and not a blaster box. No. So we'll see what we get. I think there's going to be another mistake and people are going to be able to return it. They might give out like a little $5 gift card to you for messing up your order. We'll kind of see what happens there. It's pretty much too early to tell. They're going for about $40. They were $40 to $45 last week. Now they value at $40. No real change. We saw this coming. Usually the trend happens where if there's a range, say 25 to 30, cards are mostly going to go towards the bottom end of that range at 25. So I was not surprised that we're seeing at 40. We could potentially start seeing maybe $37 to $40 next week would be my guess, but I'd imagine they'll stick around 40 for a little while. One new release that was supposed to release last week, but we haven't seen it at Walmart yet. We have not seen it at Target yet, is Chronicles Draft Picks Blaster Boxes for 2021. There could be a little delay in this release. We're not sure. There also may not release any retail of this anymore. It's really up in the air. We're just going to have to wait and see and kind of wait it out. The new release that, again, there's no guarantee that it's going to be retail, but there's a pretty good chance. It's 2020 Panini Luminance football. We kind of saw Luminance in 2020 Chronicles, so they're going to be releasing 2021 Luminance. It is college jerseys, sadly. There are no pre-sales on this, but it's going to be an awesome product, great photos. I personally love the parallels, the variations. I think it's going to be super, super awesome. So Panini Luminance Football is that new release that we may or may not see in retail. It's too early to tell. There's been no pre-sales. And Panini's been doing this thing where they'll say they're going to release something, for retail, and then they just end up doing online exclusive. So we'll have to end up seeing what happens in terms of retail, in terms of 2020 Panini Luminance Football. Be on the lookout for blasters, fat packs, etc. of Luminance Football. All right, let's go to basketball. No basketball Target drops yesterday, but still only 2 products out for basketball. Hopefully some drop during the offseason. Again, we're going to be, we're in the NBA Finals right now. We're going to be approaching the draft at some point in the near future for NBA, and that's really when the new products are going to come out. We may see maybe a couple new products with like LaMelo, etc. Who knows? It's really too early to say. NBA Prism Blaster Boxes are up, but it's interesting. So last week it was 70 to 75 in range. Now it's 70 to 90. There's some selling at 70. There's some selling at 75. And there's like a bunch of blasters selling at 90, which is interesting, but you can't say they're 90 exactly because there's still some selling for 70 to 75. And in the last 3 weeks, we've seen that 70 to 75, maybe $80 range. So it's interesting to see this kind of price jump up to 90. And so we're going to see, maybe that price is on the way. Maybe it's on its way up. Maybe it's going to settle at 80, maybe 85. So I would stay on the lookout for Prism Basketball increasing in value for blaster boxes. Hanger boxes are also up. Hanger boxes are also up. They were 80 to 90 last week. Now they're 90 to 100. It's interesting. So 2 weeks ago, they were flat 100. Then they dropped to 80 to 90. Now they're 90 to 100. Now they're 90 to 100. It's interesting to see. I think that, maybe this is kind of where they're going to stay potentially. Too early to say. We will have to see. Cello packs are down. They were 35 to 40 the last 2 weeks. Now they're 30 to 35, which has been interesting to see why those took a hit, whereas blasters and hanger boxes went up, and mega boxes went up. They were 130 to 160 last week. The week before, they were 130 to 140. Now they are back consistently selling at 160. It's because this is because it's been much harder to find Prism Basketball mega boxes at Walmart. They've not dropped any on Target. So the fact that there's less supply, because remember, every time someone opens a box, there is less supply of sealed boxes. So therefore, $160 for a Panini Prism mega box seems to be the going rate. All right, Contenders Basketball Blaster Boxes, those are up $5. They're $35 now. 2 weeks ago, we saw them dwindling at about $25. Then last week, $30. And this week, $35. They're on their way up. So it seems like basketball products are on the way up. One could argue because it's peak peak season or for basketball right now. It's the finals. We just got done with the Eastern Conference. We just got done with the conference finals. Now we just had game 1 of the NBA finals last night. People are in the basketball mood. So I would not be surprised to see basketball kind of trickle up and then maybe drop off as the NBA finals end, and then maybe not go back up till the draft. We'll see what happens there. Before I get into baseball, because we have so much to unwrap for baseball, I want to hit UFC and soccer because those are smaller sports, less demand for them, but I still want to hit them before we get into like the depths of baseball. So first off, for UFC, I'm not sure if they're still selling them in stores at Target. I personally have not seen any at mine, although I really haven't seen any at mine, period. So and kind of to back this up, why maybe I think this could be true is because last week blasters were selling about $55 to $60. They jumped to $65 to $70 right now. And again, as people open boxes, supply is less. And as supply decreases, price is going to go up as long as demand stays relatively the same. So we're looking at $65 to $70 for these. We'll see if they keep releasing any of these boxes. But again, it's just too early to tell. Soccer, we have 2 products, Mosaic, Soccer, we have 3 Chronicles, but I'm not covering Chronicles, although Chronicles sellers are selling around $20, so there you go, in value. We have Mosaic Soccer Blaster boxes at about $35. Those are up $5 from last week. Well, last week they were $30 to $35. Now they're consistently selling at $35. Then we have Topps Chrome Soccer Blasters. They're actually down, and we could expect this from them. Last week they were $55 to $60, but I made a note that some were selling at $50, and now they're selling at $50 this week. We're actually seeing some at $40 this week, which is scary because that means that value can tank to $40 within the next week or 2. So look for a decrease in the value of Topps Chrome Soccer. Again, it's not as new as it was, for the first, weeks 1 and week 2, week 3. So some of that curiosity is kind of going down. People aren't as, it's not as hot per se, not as hyped to have, Topps Chrome Soccer. So it's not selling as great. So look for the price to go down there. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but they're $50 right now. Okay, we have a lot to unwrap for baseball. 5 different products for baseball. 6 really, potentially 7 when you look at it. So Bowman blaster boxes, they actually did not drop any this week for the Target drop. They dropped them last Wednesday, but not Tuesday. So they're still going, literally, they've gone for the same price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th week. They're going for $30 to $35 resale. Most are $32 to $33. Mega boxes are $35 to $40. Not much change from last week whatsoever. Top Series 2, we have blasters, we have hanger boxes, and we have giant boxes. Giant boxes, I know, I'll get to that after. Blasters are $25 to $35 this week. They were $20 to $35 last week. I thought maybe we'll see a $20 to $30 range this week, but they actually went up a little, which was kind of shocking to me. $25 to $35 for Top Series 2 blasters. I'm not sure why those went up. I think it could just be potentially the timing of me checking comps. I don't really know. It's interesting there to see. Hanger boxes were 10 to 20 last week. They've settled at 15, pretty strictly at 15, maybe some 16, maybe some 14, but like 15 pretty much. And then we have a giant box. Oh, no sales of Series 2 giant boxes yet. This is the first time we saw Series 2 giant boxes were this week, yesterday, for Target drops. No pre-sales of those, so it's going to be interesting to see what those kind of, come to. The Series 1 are going for about 60. So if that gives you any indication, the fact that Series 2 is a little bit newer, we could be seeing these giant boxes going for maybe 65 to 70 and then kind of come down. But again, we'll have to wait and see for comps. We have absolute baseball blasters. Last week, they're going 30 to 35. Now they're going to 30. We saw this coming. They were literally strictly going for 30. It's like $29.50, $29.99, $30.01. Like, they are going for $30. We have Stadium Club blasters. Again, a new product, but those are still going for $25 to $30. It's interesting. People haven't been pulling the greatest things out of Stadium Club. There's just no real value in those blasters. So I think it's carrying, a little additional value because it's a newer product. But we can see by the fact it's only going to 25 to 30 that because people aren't really hitting in it, people don't really want to buy those boxes. Whereas Absolute Baseball has been out a bit longer than the Stadium Club and still has $30 resale value. So I'm looking at it that way. And probably the biggest release for baseball are these select baseball blaster boxes. They only have 12 cards per box, but they're going for $30 to $35 secondary value, which has been really interesting to see. I assume those will kind of come down as people open them. Again, only 12 cards for that much is a lot. It's an unlicensed, unlogo product. I'd imagine we'll see boxes come down to even $20, $25. We saw Elite Extra Edition, when they had like 5 cards per pack and you got like 2 autos, they were like $20. We saw them starting at like $35 and then they dropped to like $20 within a week. So look for these to drop. All right. Wow, that was a mouthful. Let me get you guys the top picks of the week for myself. I say Prism Basketball Mega Box is your number 1. Prism Basketball Hanger Box is your number 2. Prism Basketball Blaster Box is your number 3. Select Mega Box is your number 4. And for your number 5, I was struggling with this one, but I'm still going to stick with Topps, Chrome, Soccer, potentially Prism Draft Picks could be your number 5. You guys can pick what you want. So either Topps Chrome Blasters or Prism Draft Picks Mega Boxes are going to be my number 5, guys. That is going to do it for today's video. Remember, go cop a hat, the JR Sports Card hat for non-members, guys. Again, it helps me out more than you even can imagine. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave you there, but guys, have a great day. Peace.